Hey everybody, it's Kelsey here from Wander Realm. Welcome back to my channel. Please, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more from me, please subscribe. I don't make videos that often, but I do make interesting videos that might pop in your feed and might interest you, so it's a good idea to subscribe because you probably won't easily find me otherwise because I am a small YouTuber. So yeah, show me some love, subscribe, and give this video a like. Today I'm going to be talking about magic mushrooms and how they've helped me personally. It's definitely been a journey in terms of my anxiety and depression. I've talked a little bit about it on my channel. Well, I've had actually a video, I believe that's over 20 minutes long, where I talk about exactly what type of anxiety I have and how I cope with it, etc. However, I didn't really get into what I use to help me cope. Now, it's kind of an update, I guess, and as well, I really want to touch base on the magic mushrooms and what they're doing for me. So if you are interested in this topic, then just keep watching. Alright, so basically, essentially, I kind of want to go over what exactly I take. So I take a small dosage, and I don't have the exact amount. I kind of won't get into any scientific facts or a lot of exacts in general. I really want to make sure that I'm sharing my experience because this is what my channel is all about. If you want to learn factual information about that, you can definitely look that up on YouTube. There's actually a really good Vice video called, I believe it's part of their Pharmacopoeia series, and they have an entire mini documentary on the psilocybin mushrooms. Now, psilocybin mushrooms are essentially the psychedelic mushrooms that have psychedelic effects to them. Now, it's important for me to disclaim that yes, psilocybin mushrooms are illegal in Canada, and they are illegal. So I'm not encouraging anyone to go out and necessarily take that. Just, you know, with that caution in mind, I just want you to know that I'm taking my own risk by taking it, but it's important for me to share. I'm not somebody who believes that these things are bad. So if you think that they're bad and you aren't, you know, you're not a fan, then yeah, you can click out of this video, it's fine. But keep in mind, I have a stance on why I think that they should be legal and why I think that they're good for you and why we should integrate them back into society. So this is my opinions and my views, and I realize that it's not the views shared by everybody, and it's not the views shared by the government, clearly. So that's okay, and that's all right. And I think that it's important to find your own views and values. I think even if you are a religious person, you might have different views than the government as well. You know, there might be things that you believe that are morally okay, and then the government doesn't believe that. So just keep in mind that there's always going to be a disconnect from your views and values versus what others believe. So I don't necessarily view it as a bad thing. I think of it as something that's helpful, and it's actually been hindering society, it being legal, and it being legal for this for this long, it's definitely hindered society. So that's my take on it. Just a disclaimer, kind of wanted to throw that out there. If I'm talking a little bit fast, I'm sorry, I haven't filmed in a while, so I'm a little bit rusty, but in general, my anxiety started, I would say about 7 years ago, in terms of six years ago, maybe, not that long ago. Well, it was a long time ago, but not 7 years. I generally from, I think, 19 and 20, I believe, I was okay. And then 21, it was when I noticed that I started having really bad obsessions. I started getting something called pure OCD. I just kind of want to tell you a little bit about my anxiety. So maybe, in a sense, that maybe this can help you because of what I've been through. My anxiety is definitely something that it's definitely a struggle because a lot of it is internal, and I don't necessarily wash my hands 50 times a day in terms of that kind of OCD, but it's a different kind of OCD where I'm obsessing in my own brain about things. And keep in mind, the hand washing and the brain obsessions, it's kind of all the same. It stems from the same issues, which is just obsessing. So OCD, whether it's pure O or OCD, it's obsessions of some kind. I have talked about this, so I can leave a link actually of that down below of the video where I go into more detail as to what exactly I'm suffered with for many years. So I've hit rock bottom when it comes to my anxiety. I've suffered so badly in terms of especially work environments. You know, around my family, it's definitely, sometimes it's a struggle. They might not know sometimes how badly I'm struggling with it. Even sometimes, even sometimes, just going to work was very difficult. Just interacting with people, it would be like I would have to tell myself, like, get myself pep talks, like, you can do this. But many days I was suffering immensely inside. Sorry, I can't really talk about this without crying, so I'm gonna try to compose myself. But I was definitely suffering immensely with my anxiety. Many people may know or not know. They kind of would just see me as weird or distant, in my own head. So many people just wouldn't understand exactly what I was going through. I didn't feel like I related to anybody, and I felt like people didn't feel like they could relate to me. I wouldn't show my true self. I was afraid of my true self. I just really suffered. Just all the time, just suffered. Like, every day that I had to go to work, I was terrified because I would have to be interacting with people and I would just be in my own head the whole day. And I've come a long way from that, and that's kind of why I wanted to make this video, because if anyone suffers the way that I've suffered, I want you to know that there's hope and you can work through it. And there's several things that I've worked on. For one, it is definitely, I found some mentors. So I found somebody online who he has sort of like the same type of anxieties, and he wrote a book on it, and he has a YouTube channel. His name is Mark Freeman. He was extremely helpful for me, especially when I was kind of like really struggling. I would watch his YouTube videos, and they were super helpful to help me, and I actually bought his book. My fiance actually bought me the book, and it's definitely been helpful. However, I noticed that obsessions would just keep popping into my head, and I knew that something had to change, that I needed some help, you know. And I got to a point when I went to go see a therapist, not a therapist, sorry, but a psychologist and a doctor, and they wanted to put me on some medication. So I've always been somebody, because of what my mom does, she's a cannabis activist, and she works with natural medicines. I've always been a proponent of natural medicines, and I've really tried to stay away from synthetic pills. I've seen people suffering a lot, taking pills, them not working, A, and B, them getting addicted, or feeling like they're dependent on this and not being able to essentially get off of them and be themselves without them. And I understand that some people need to take medication, and I'm not bashing medication. Some people feel like they need to take it, and I totally understand. But for me, it was important for me to exhaust all the natural options before I took medication. But like I said, I was really hitting rock bottom, and I went to go see somebody to try to get medication, and I noticed that this person seemed to not care at all about my personal issues, and they judged me wrongly. I feel like they diagnosed me, in my opinion, in a very ignorant way. He barely let me speak, and then in the end, he told me that I needed to take some drugs. So I didn't feel good about that. I felt completely uncomfortable with this person just diagnosing me so quickly with in my opinion, no knowledge of what I was actually going through. So I decided that this was going to have to be a solo journey, and this was something I was going to have to figure out for myself. And I knew that, yes, I did need some help to get out of it. I knew that it wasn't going to be an overnight thing. And I knew I needed to find something, maybe something natural, that was going to help me get out of this funk, this cycle of anxiety and depression that I was going on. Now, again, I want to make it clear that I realize that these substances aren't legal, but you have to realize that when you're in a difficult place in your life, you are going to try to find something that's going to help you, especially when you can't even function. There were many days when I could not function. I could hardly function at work. I'm a strong person, and I will go to work even if I am just riddled with anxiety, and I consider myself a strong person, and I would rather not crumple into a ball and stay in my house, because that's not the kind of person I want to be. So I needed some help. I'm sorry I keep crying, but this subject's very difficult for me to talk about, because, you know, I'm glad I am talking about it, because I don't really talk about it much with people, and people don't really understand. And I don't really like to get into the specifics of the anxiety that I go through. So yeah, overall, I kind of just wanted to say that I wanted to be independent. I didn't want to curl into a ball, like I said, and stay in my house. So my mom actually discovered the psilocybin mushrooms, and she was using it to treat a client for pain, and she also knew that it would help with anxiety and depression, and she offered for me to try it. And before that, I was using CBD, and I felt like CBD was not working for me. I was using it when I was waitressing, and that was probably some of my worst anxiety when I was waitressing. Somewhat, like, my worst anxiety hit me when I was like off the B12 pill for a little while, which is just a vitamin that you need to take when you're not eating meat. And because I wasn't getting a lot of nutrients, I really needed the B12, because that's something you don't get when you go vegan, especially, even vegetarian. So I was off the B12, and I swear I was just like, it's a combination. My anxiety flares up with diet and exercise. Like, it flares up if I'm not watching my diet, not exercising, and not sleeping or whatever, not meditating. So I noticed that it gets worse. So as well, I wasn't taking the B12, and that also helps me to maintain my anxiety. So I noticed it getting really bad at that time. And as well, when I was waitressing, I was struggling a lot. So I know I was taking CBD, and if you don't know what that is, it's like it's basically cannabis, but it has no THC, so it has no psychotropic effects. And the CBD was not really working for me. I was still suffering from the anxiety. So finally, my mom offered for me to try the magic mushroom. This is a small dosage. I'm not going to get into the details of it, but it's a small dosage. It's called microdosing. You can take it in a pill form, you can take it in an edible form, and I take it mostly in an edible form. I have taken it in pill form as well, and I find that both work. I find the edible is a little bit stronger in a sense. It just depends, but I like taking the edibles, I guess, a little bit better than the pill. So overall, I noticed a profound difference when I started taking the microdosed edibles. I noticed, like, basically, like, if you can imagine this, like clouds just parting and just a light shining, and I was finally free. Now, like I said, it's not been perfect. I definitely still suffer from certain obsessions, and I'm trying to work through them, but it honestly was so much easier interacting and talking with people. Once I started taking the mushroom microdoses, it was so much easier to go to work and interact. It was so much easier to motivate myself to go to work. I mainly talk about my work life just because, I mean, I work 40 hours, I work full time, I work 40 hours a week. That's kind of like the majority of my time, and I sleep a lot, so I'm pretty much working a lot. So essentially, I was feeling a lot better. Like, I noticed a huge difference and I'm so grateful for what I have. What my mom just essentially found when she started microdosing was that, you know, people were coming back to her and saying that, you know, it was really helping their stress levels in general. Like, even if you're not suffering from like debilitating anxiety, we all kind of go through this like stress, you know, like sometimes it just feels like it's on our back, you know, we can't sleep. It helps me get a good sleep. Actually, when I take it at night, a lot of people also say that they wake up feeling more refreshed. I find that as well. In general, I only take one a day, and then sometimes I come home and take another one. Just depends on the day and whether I feel like I need it. I don't bring it to my workplace. I just take it before I leave the house, and I feel like, you know, have a great time on my way to work. You know, it's not perfect. Obviously, I have problems. You know, life isn't just perfect now. It's not like the limitless pill, but in a way, it kind of is, because you can go from honestly feeling frustration and stress to just letting it go. And letting it go is so important, because you're not meant to be this big ball of stress and to walk around so anxious and stressed all the time. We're meant to have relief. And that's why I want to get into how I don't think society should be stopped from taking psychedelics, because psychedelics have been in society. I know I keep crying. This is going to be like a big crying video, but psychedelics have been in society for such a long time. Ancient civilizations have had shamans and people who know how to use psychedelic medicines. Like I said, I don't think it's a detriment to society, and I'm actually concerned that we are by we, I mean society, government, whatever you want to call it, limits our access to things that can help us. And as somebody who, you know, I went through a time in my life where I really didn't feel comfortable taking anything that, you know, wasn't legal, and I didn't want to be illegal, and I felt like I had a pride that I was following the law or whatever like that. But to be honest with you, when I've seen how corrupt and the reasonings behind the hindrance, I'm sorry, but I can't get on board. You know, everything that's there for us medicinally is in plants. And if we're going to stop society from accessing it, then I don't know why we call this a free society. You know, you have to question it. And, you know, I might not get sponsors, and I know this might be controversial, but we need to question what we're told. And I'll understand, you know, if you don't want to be involved and you don't want to take anything that's illegal, then, you know, you do you. There's actually a period after the sort of like the effects have kind of worn away. You actually have an afterglow. You have an effect where you actually feel a nice relief and release when it leaves. So I'm not sure, you know, if that's your thing, or you don't take anything, or you want to work through it yourself, totally fine. I think I talk about in my other video about coping, you know, when I don't, in other ways, about meditation and things like that. And here's the thing, I strongly believe in taking care of myself. I honestly, like I said, is not perfect. I still suffer sometimes from obsessions and anxieties, but it's gotten a lot better. That's just what I wanted to say. And as well, you know, I do maintain a somewhat healthy lifestyle, I like to think. I've also stopped eating gluten, and that's also helped. I noticed that just eating gluten was starting to really cause me to weigh myself down. Like, I was getting literally weighed down by depression, and like also my anxiety was flaring up as well. So yeah, I think that in combination of the psilocybin and a healthy lifestyle and knowing what your body needs, for me, I've become more whole, more well-rounded. I've been able to focus on my goals more. I've actually never, I'm not going to be able to get through this video, but I'm going to try. I've never been this consistent with my writing, and I've always wanted to be a writer. And I told myself that almost 10 years ago. I said to myself, I want to be a writer. That's what I want to be. And I remember telling myself that and saying, you're going to be a writer one day. You're going to accomplish your goals. And my anxiety has just robbed me of any with a lot of motivation. Just one moment. I'm gonna... It's robbed me of a lot of motivation, and I struggle a lot with being consistent and getting what I want done, because every time I go to put that pen on the paper, it just, all the problems of me just roll around in my head. I'm sorry that this is a really emotional video, but honestly, if you've known what I've been through in the last 7 years of my life, even before that, I've been through stuff, but I'm looking back now at my 20s as I'm near my 30th birthday. I'm only 27, but you know, we're getting there. Sorry. I'm thinking about, you know, how much time I've wasted in my 20s disliking myself, being in unhealthy relationships, and doubting myself and not accomplishing my dreams, you know. I hate to say it and I hate to put a blame on it, but part of the reason why I haven't been, in my opinion, as successful as I could be in life is because of my anxiety. And ever since I've had it, it's been a huge blockage. And I want to just tell you that since taking the psilocybin, I've been more focused on what I need to get done rather than more focused on all the negativity and depression and, you know, issues that the anxiety has brought me. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this video short. Not short, because it's probably gonna be long, but I'm gonna cut this video off. It's like 22 minutes right now. I just kind of can't speak. I just wanted to end the video. Pardon me. Just want to end the video and tell you how much I love you guys, and if you're struggling with anxiety and depression, I just want to tell you that it's not it. You know, you can get through it. And the person that like I said, the person that I was looking to for help when I was struggling with my anxiety, Mark Freeman, he said something very that's very interesting and positive, that stuck with me for a while now, is that anxiety is not something that you have to label yourself and be stuck with for the rest of your life. He doesn't believe that anxiety is like a diagnosis, in sense like you're never going to be free of it. I believe that anxiety in general, we're never going to be not anxious ever. I mean, that's part of being human. But in terms of suffering from like the OCD part, like the obsessions, he believes that you can get through that. You can come out of that and say, I don't have it anymore. So that's really important for me. And I think when you look at disease, or when you look at any type of problems in your life, don't look at it as a death sentence. Even if you're suffering from health problems, okay, what am I doing? You know, I might get bashed for saying this, but like, do I need to lose weight? Do I need to change what I'm eating? Do I need to change what I'm doing? Do I need to change my thoughts and my mindset? Do I need to look into natural medicine? Whatever it is, what is going on in your life, and is it propelling you to a better life? I've always been at odds with the anxiety, because it's like I've been motivated to have a better life, but then the anxiety is dragging me away from it. So in a sense, I was just really at odds with myself. So I really just wanted to share this video because, like I said, it's important for me to share my struggles and what I've been through, and how the psilocybin microdoses have helped for me. I didn't really want to get into what you should take or what you should do in terms of like dosage or anything like that. That's definitely something that you would have to look into yourself. I don't know who's watching this or where you are, but I definitely want to say that you can get through whatever you're going through. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of you. Essentially, your struggles, your anxiety, your depression, your PTSD, whatever it is, it's not the end of you. You can push through it. And the psilocybin mushrooms have definitely helped me to push through it. So I want to thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry I was very emotional during this video. I didn't even expect to be emotional during this video, but like I said, I want to talk about my struggles and what I've been through. So again, thanks very much. If you want to subscribe, please subscribe to my channel. I don't post that often, so you can keep up when I do post. And then please give this video a like if you felt like it helped you. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.